In any event, look who's back with the same question for number 2. It's Merlin Wendelboe. I think this is based on ranking, pretty much. Now a political question, since Merlin has commanded the show from his lofty heights on top of Mount Doom. Should we set up a loudmouth public racist who will endorse Democrats during elections, assuring that no Democrat will ever vote for a candidate who has our man's endorsement? Or is that why the KKK endorsed Trump? That is a profoundly interesting idea. Profoundly interesting idea. It's tremendous political strategy. Is having the most loathsome person you can think of, and as many of them as you can think of, endorsing your opponent. The thing about the KKK is there is a little bit of truth to this. In fact, there's a fairly significant amount of truth, and this is one of the things I liked least about the Trump presidency. I don't think, not only do I not think Donald Trump is a racist, I think Donald Trump is the least racist candidate we've had in this country since Reagan, and maybe since the 50s. I think Donald Trump is not at all a racist or a particular woman hater. Locker room talk is locker room talk. When you actually ask the women who work for them, they pretty much universally say he's a tremendous boss. He pays us really well, pays us a lot of compliments, and never been happier. So I don't buy any of that Trump is a racist thing at all. And I'm getting a little used to hearing that criticism of people. But when the KKK endorsed Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, I heard this with my own ears, was basically trying to say, the KKK, what's that? That's disingenuous and it's unworthy of him, and it's unworthy of the people who support him. Donald Trump surely knows what the KKK is. And there has been speculation from the part of the progressives that Donald Trump did not just immediately disown the KKK in order to win some states that he needed to win in the South. And I think that might be, to some degree, a little bit true. But you have no power over the people that endorse you, just in terms of the endorsement. Kim Jong-un can endorse me and say that he thinks I best represent his communist ideals. I don't think that's true, but I don't have any power to stop him. I can't stop him. You can denounce him and disown it, and I think that has to happen. I think that's required of you morally, and it also is required of you almost spiritually, and you got to do it pretty quick. So if it turned out that I got a KKK endorsement, or the American Nazi Party decided that Bill Whittles is the voice of our entire movement, I would say two things. I'd say, first of all, which Bill Whittle, because it's certainly not me, and secondly, I would say, if this is in fact true, I utterly reject and disdain this endorsement, and I won't want to have anything to do with these people. I can't control who they endorse, but not only I'm just simply not going to accept it, and I'm not going to do anything other than ignore it. That's what really should happen. I don't know if Trump's playing, footsie with the issue made a difference in the election. I don't know whether it would have cost him any states if he'd come right out immediately and said, no, I'm 100% against this. This is nothing I can do about it, but I utterly reject it. I don't know. I do know that every day now I wake up and I realize that there is a chance for the recovery of this country. There's actual chance. And I think that Donald Trump has, in 4 weeks, done more good for America than Barack Obama's done in 8 years. I mean, every day I wake up, the Dow's at some new high. I think, I've been saying this before, that the U.S. economy is like a gigantic spring, and all of the growth that should have happened during almost a decade has been suppressed by very high taxes and especially by very high regulations. And if the tax rules and Obamacare are changing every day or every year, you can't plan your business if you don't know if you're going to be paying, $5,000 in health coverage or $15,000 in health coverage or $38,000 in health coverage. You don't know what the taxes are going to be 2-3 years from now. You don't know what the mandated government nonsense is going to be. So I think there's a tremendous compression of the economy. Now, if Donald Trump, it's already happening. When Donald Trump was elected, he's running on lower taxes and less regulations, fewer regulations, I should say. And so this thing is already starting to expand, and I think Donald Trump is gonna in his first 100 days is gonna reap an unbelievable harvest of good news, just explosive economic growth. People who've been out of a job for years and years back on the job. People who've been pushed out of the military because of all these horrible PC, greenest base in the country kind of thing. Those people are going to have a reason to go back. And I'll get to. Did I have a question about Mattis? If I didn't, I'm going to talk about him right now. It's a nice segue. So anyway, yes, as political strategy, Merlin, it's a wonderful idea. Find somebody absolutely loathsome. Just basically come out and say Nickelback endorses Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton thinks that Jerry Lewis is funny. And just tar them with the association. But certainly Trump can't control that. But I do think he behaved badly, quite badly with the KKK issue. As a matter of fact, I think that was his darkest hour so far in terms of what I think about the guy. All right, moving on.